Okay, Ford Falcon Rear lower control arm outer bush we're doing. Okay, so this is the one with the bolt head up against the fuel tank. So normally to get this arm out, what you would have to do would be to drop the subframe down. So you've got the bolts up the top there, bolts in the front, and you just drop that down so you can clear the tank enough to get that bolt out. But because this is an outer bush, what we can actually do is use this special tool here. Okay, which is this kit. So it's got a sleeve on this side. The bush here, I've just taken the boot off this side, and then I've got a nut that is going to fit through the hole. You can see I've actually already started moving it with another nut, but now I've ground this one down so it can fit through the hole. And we're going to slide that on there. Okay, so that's going to fit over there and against there, and then our other nut is going to fit into here, and we will do that up and pull this bush out. Okay, so I've actually got another nut in there now just as a spacer, just so the flat of this will go against that. That nut is also small enough to go through that hole if need be. And then basically we are just going to tighten this up. I do need both my hands. Set out. Like that. Cool, so there is our bush out, and we're just going to copper coat up the new one. We'll take the boot off again just to protect it as we press it in, and then we'll go back in the other way. When we go in though, we want to make sure we get something that's going to fit just around that outside edge, so that you're only pressing against the outside edge, not the inner part of that bush. See, there's two parts to it. So if you press on that inner one, like we have to get it out, it's going to crush it and wreck that. Cool, so it's something that'll fit just on that outer edge, but because when we go in it doesn't need to go through, it doesn't matter if it's bigger. So taking our boot off, just get a little pick carefully, and we're just going to pull that spring clip out, wind it around, take that off, and just pull that boot. Okay, and we'll put it back on once we've got it in there. Okay, so the reason I didn't use any parts of the toolkit pressing it out because they're too big to fit through the hole. But we'll try this one going back in, see how it goes. Cool, and we'll get plenty of copper coat on there just to help it go in easily without binding up.
He's flying in the air, right? He's flying in the air, I've got big two. That's that one.
Okay, so here's our bush now in there, all pressed in, boot back on. So all I need to do now is put that back up into there, bolt back through and re-tighten this one in here. Okay, so I've just loosened that off just to make it easier to drop that arm down. You'll see I've got the shock off here too, because that's in the way of the head of this bolt. Okay, but just having that tool has saved us dropping that whole rear frame just to get that inner bolt out, because that bolt head is right against the fuel tank. Okay, so just on one job that saved us an awful lot of time. Okay, and you can imagine how often a tool like that can save you a lot of time. So I'll chuck a link in the description for something like this. Well worth checking out if you're in a workshop, and if you're a DIY and you need to do one of these, just in order to be able to do it yourself at home, it would be worth buying the tool. It would actually be cheaper to buy that than to pay someone to do this for you. Cool, so that is the Ford Falcon left rear outer lower control arm bush. Okay, I hope that has helped you out today. Don't forget to click us a like and a subscribe to get more real tips from real mechanics, and we'll see you in the next video.